What I love about the lacto fermentation process is the delicious, unique flavor that it gives the habaneros and the blueberries. I lacto fermented the ingredients for about a month and a half, and what you're gonna get is a hot sauce that is nicely developed in flavor, nice and tangy, nice and sour, nice and acidic, nice and spicy. First step in the fermentation process is rinsing the ingredients off under cold running water. Then after that, you just let them air dry on a clean kitchen towel. While there's drying, you grab the stem from the pepper, pull it off. The lactobacillus is a good bacteria that lives on the skins of the blueberries and the habaneros. The bacteria consumes the natural sugars in these peppers and the blueberries, and the byproduct of that is lactic acid. Lactic acid is what preserves the food. It is what gives lactofermentation, lacto-fermented peppers and blueberries in our case, that unique, distinct flavor, yeah? So the fermentation process is really simple. I like to do what is called the Noma guide the fermentation way. That being said, you need a digital scale for raising grams. It's a very simple process to do, so let me show you how to do it. Cool, so the only thing I need to do to the peppers is cut them in half. Then I look on the inside and make sure nothing's rotten. I like to see nice bright white placenta and the seeds are nice and white. And also, when you put this in the brine, you're not gonna get any kind of air pockets that are gonna get trapped, yeah? Seed and placenta removal is optional. See like that? That pepper, I'm definitely not gonna use. Set that one aside. You could quarter the peppers too, if you like. You could squeeze more in the jar.
So you want to start the fermentation process by placing an empty mason jar on a scale, set the grams, zero it out. Now you want to add your ingredients. I quartered the habaneros because I want to ensure that there are no air pockets that are going to get trapped when I put the brine in. The blueberries are perfectly fine being placed in the jar whole. Once all the ingredients are put into the jar, you want to fill the jar up with water just at the bottom of the neck of the jar. I'm using filtered water. You could also use bottled spring water. Just try to stay away from tap water. It's very important that the ingredients stay underneath the water level. Now you want to take note of this weight, 837 grams, and you want to multiply it by 2.5% in order to get the amount of salt in grams that you need in order to make the brine. In this example is 20.925 grams. If your scale doesn't read decimal points, round to the nearest whole number. Now pour a little bit of the water out of the jar into a bowl. Place a dish onto the scale and add the calculated amount of salt, which is 21 grams. Now we want to mix the salt into the water to fully dissolve the salt. Next step, you want to pour that salty water, which is the brine, back into the jar with the ingredients. Just make sure all that salt gets dissolved. If it doesn't, then you can go ahead and swirl the water around and get all the salt incorporated into the water and pour it into the jar. It's very important that the ingredients stay submerged underneath that water level, so I'm going to use some sort of a weight. You could use a fermentation weight. If you don't have a fermentation weight, you could use a small glass ramen can, a glass shot glass, a glass baby food jar. If you don't have an airlock, then the next best bet is to cover the opening of the jar with a coffee filter and using a mason jar lid ring to secure the filter in place. Just in case there's any kind of overspill, I like to put the fermentation project onto a glass dish. Now you want to let this ferment on the countertop for about 1 month away from direct sunlight in a temperature range of 68 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. After about day 3 or 4, you should see signs of fermentation that should look like little tiny bubbles starting to form on the outside of the habaneros and the blueberries. After 5 days, you should see a little bit more activity.
Now that I showed you the lacto fermentation process, let's go ahead and start making the sauce. I'm gonna toss this on my smoker, smoke it low and slow, about 175, 200 degrees for about an hour, hour and a half. I want these ingredients to have a nice thick smoke on them, and I want them to get softened subsequently, right? Perforated pan, I'm gonna put it directly on the smoke rack. Smoke's gonna be able to come up from the bottom. Now we can get these ingredients put on the smoker. Extra large lump charcoal burns really clean, burns long, burns hot, okay? Amazing, dude. It's the main heat source basically for the small offset smoker that I have. For the smoky flavor, I'm doing a combination of oak and these applewood chips. The flavor that I want to get off the blueberries and the habaneros, the smoke that you get from the applewood and the oak just works just beautifully, right? So once you get a clean smoke coming out of that stack, then now's the time to put these on the grates. Then I'm gonna grab a handful of these applewood chips, put them directly on that coal, and I'm gonna get nice thick smoke come out of that stack here momentarily. About an hour, I'm gonna check on the ingredients, see how soft they are. Every 30, 35, 40 minutes, I'm gonna add some more charcoal, add some more wood to it, just to keep the heat source going and the smoke flavor coming. I want a nice thick layer of smoke on these ingredients because when we blend up the sauce, everything's gonna be incorporated and it's gonna have a deliciously spicy, sweet, smoky flavor to the sauce. It's amazing, dude. So after about an hour, we'll check on the ingredients and see where we're at.
For this time around, it took about 2 hours for the ingredients to soften up completely in order to blend them up nicely. So once they are, drop all those ingredients into the jar, and now we want to use that brine that we saved from the fermentation and add it to the blender. I'm not adding all of it, I just want to add a little bit of it and blend it up to see what the consistency is. Adding more brine is going to result in a thinner sauce. Less is going to be thicker, of course. One of my favorite things about the sauce is the color of it is so nice. If you have a really high power blender, then you might have a smoother sauce on this, but regardless, I like to strain my sauces out through a mesh strainer, and of course you want to have a bowl to catch the sauce with, right? So I use it in a small ladle to lightly force the sauce through the mesh strainer, and what is left behind is all that pulp and the seeds. You can dry that pulp in a low temperature oven about 190 degrees for a few hours until nice and dry. Grind it up in a spice grinder and add some salt to it for a beautiful smoked blueberry habanero seasoned salt. I love that consistency, it is perfect.
Cheers. Ooh. Love the color, love the smell, love the flavor on it. It's delicious. Smoky up front, sweet, spicy.
Once the sauce is fully cooled off, I like to store it in glass mason jars. If you have a pH meter, then I definitely suggest that you check the pH on it. Normally my sauces sit around 3.4 to 3.6 pH. If you want to lower the pH, add apple cider vinegar, of course. Keep in mind that adding any kind of vinegar will slightly alter the flavor profile of the sauce. Let that hang out in the refrigerator and it will stay good for many, many months. Enjoy.